All right, I have the final draft game here. Probably for a while. We don't have another draft scheduled in the area that I know of, so I'd love to play one again soon, but I'm not sure when that'll be. Looks like I have a pretty good hand here. I have one priority rack. I don't have any ice, I don't believe. So, but I am going for it because I do have. I didn't draw ice, but I do have the anonymous tip, which will let me draw cards to hopefully get ice. Because I really want to defend HQ if I have. Oh, some more. Okay, I did draw ice.
Second click will go there. And
so I just want to get cards on my hand right now. And I have 2 of my 3-pointers in my hand. There's only another two 3-point agendas in the deck, and another couple 1-pointers in the deck. So I have, generally speaking, half my agendas in my hand. So he has a better chance of getting them in HQ than he does R&D. So I just drop a pad campaign. And I'm not entirely sure. I didn't quite catch what I saw. Alright, so he just sees a pad campaign, decides to leave it.
I'll check that out.
And sees another pad campaign.
Keep it, 3rd click, Armitage, and I'll get 2.
So considering he had Armitage, it might have been worth trashing one of those pad campaigns. Just because you're going to have to trash them eventually, and you have Armitage, so you can recover your economy. But he might have other plans for his money, so we'll see how that goes.
I'll take the pad campaign.
I do res that.
I will
Get the other pad campaign, and looking for some ice. Oh, pop-up window, that was perfect.
Click there.
I'll probably just build up some more econ. So I have the Scorched Earth in hand.
3rd click there.
Might be worth defending HQ and then setting up for a Scorched Earth win. Runner draws up.
I'll get 4.
Takes 2 clicks worth of code busting, and he goes and kills the pad campaign. Yeah, so he's not going to let those float indefinitely.
Okay.
Get another one online.
Mandatory draw.
It's costing me money, costing me clicks, but it's also costing him a lot of money, so it's worth doing. And if he does ignore the pad campaign, it'll start paying out big time.
First click I'll draw.
Oh, so I have the Janus and I have Oversight AI.
1, 2, 3, 4 strength. One more.
Which is really expensive to break in this format with Cryptus. So I put the Bernice Mai down under R&D. So he can get into R&D pretty easily with pop-up window, but then he'll have to deal with Bernice Mai. So I'm hoping he'll pick up some tags if he does decide to go into R&D. Okay, so he decides to trash pad campaign, which is a big part of my econ in this deck.
I'll run HQ.
I only have 2 of those. Oh, and I have exactly 3 money, so I was able to just res the Caduceus, which I hope I planned out, because otherwise that would have been a big problem. So Trace 3, it does hit. I get the Caduceus money back.
Trace 2, huh?
And I guarantee to end the run, because it's worth the 1 credit for me, especially while I could still res the pop-up, you know. So he gets in. This worked out pretty well. So I res to Bernice. It's a Trace 5, I think, so that hits. He gets a tag, and he's not able to trash the Bernice. He does look at the card. This could be bad if he gets one of my 3-pointers. So he sees another pad campaign.
I'll take the mandatory draw.
And that was his last click, but he has enough cards. I think he's at 5 cards, yeah. So and I don't have enough money for. I only have 1 Scorched Earth in hand, and
First click, Oversight. Sure.
so that's Oversight Melange.
And 3rd click. Okay.
So if his first click is going, then he could get to it for only 1 brain damage. I think he's deciding if he wants to do that or if he wants to let it slide. I'm not sure what that asset might be another pad campaign. I feel like I might have. Yeah, so he just
First click, I'll run
face
through.
plants into the Janus. Spends his whole turn clicking through it and taking a brain damage. So and unfortunately he has 1 money to trash the melange. It would have been nice if I could have used it. But we forgot to actually do the brain damage on the Janus.
First click.
That's too bad, because that could have been relevant for Scorched Earth nonsense down the line.
Second click, I'll draw. And then third click, I will install.
So now I'm kind of telling him to... Yeah, if he does this again, then it's game over for him. He can't do that again, because I have Scorched Earth and he has a tag. So before he goes faceplanting to Janus again, he needs to either clear the tag or not do that. Or somehow, like, imp away my Scorched Earth. So he just takes a bunch of money.
And then third, our last click, I'm gonna run on your R&D again. Pay credit.
Okay. Trace 5.
So he goes into R&D and
You can trash
takes the tag, decides not to trash it. So he's just going into tag me mode right now,
What do you want to
which I'm definitely loving.
Okay.
So all I need to do now is draw my second Scorched Earth, make sure I have 6 money and I'll win. Or wait till he hits the snare in R&D, and wait till I have like 7 money.
I'll take 6.
So I do get the melange.
And I have to discard.
In the corp game we just played, he fired off melange as well. So a lot of melange going on. Melange is super, super good. If you see melange while drafting, pick it up.
That.
Really deciding if I want to trash.
Hands off of it.
Yep.
Count.
I'm not sure what that was. I'm not paying attention enough to my hands.
Did you do anything?
No.
And I think at this point I could just keep melanging until I feel like I have adequate money.
Alright. I'm gonna get 2. Get 5.
So he gets up to 9.
You'll be at 9.
Put me in that.
Okay. I will
I know there's a snare in there.
mandatory draw.
However, I could also ice up above the Janus and then have a pretty good remote to potentially score out an agenda.
7.
Just use melange again. So there's a risk in that if he goes in and Maker's Eye R&D or something like that, that could just be the end of the game right there.
I'm gonna draw.
But now I am definitely set up to do whatever I want after this. Which is probably going to be aggressively draw into the second Scorched Earth. There's not that many cards left. I've probably gone through like half the deck. There's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then another, I believe there's another 5 in the archive. So
Your second click?
yeah. So he goes into R&D for his last click, gives me another money, takes another tag, and we'll see what is on top of R&D. Hadrian's Wall.
I assume you don't.
So now this turn, I think what I want to do is start setting up some ice. So I want to protect my centrals a little bit more, and I want to maybe start building out a remote that I could score out of in case of, that Scorched Earth is the last card in the deck. So I can't plan for the Scorched Earth victory. I need to have contingencies just in case.
Install.
And so yeah, I'm building out a remote. I like to score out one of my 3-pointers.
Install.
And HQ's looks like I'm hopefully going to defend up HQ a little bit because it's pretty lightly defended. He could throw down something like a Mimic and get through that really easily. Yep, so I just build up defenses.
All done.
And so that will probably keep him out.
I'm gonna draw.
It'll at least slow him down long enough to where he needs to get a breaker and needs to break through some stuff. I could probably melange next turn if I want, and then I could start making stuff happen the turn after. But if this is a build-up turn for him, which it is looking like it is, I might be able to leverage this window to score out one of my 3-pointers.
Mandatory draw.
So I got another pop-up. I think I had 3 pop-up windows. So yeah, I think that's probably the Hadrian's Wall over Janus.
Install. Advance.
So yeah, the thing is he's not gonna be able to get through Hadrian's without building up a little bit. He would need a hedge fund or like take a credit in hedge fund or something like that to have any chance to get through Hadrian's. Hadrian's is 9 to get through with Crypsis, so he has a cyber feeder, so he would need 8 money to get through the Hadrian's. And if he does that, then he's going to have to take a bunch of brain damage from Janus, in which case, if he takes the agenda, that's totally fine, because I'll just scorch him, right? He's going to have to take probably like 4 brain damage, at least 3, if he did somehow manage to get up to enough money to get through Hadrian's. So I have him either way. His best move right now, I think, is just to ignore that remote.
I'll run.
This is not a bad play either, just because, I think this is the Hadrian's. Yeah, so he does cost me to spend a ton of money. So that's in hindsight, that probably was a really good play, just to force me to res it, see what it is. But at this point, he's not going to be able to get in there. I guess a stim hack would potentially do it. I think you would still end up taking a lot of brain damage from Janus, and another brain damage from stim hack, and then scorched. So he is probably correctly just letting ignoring that server.
I probably should. Second click.
And after I score that out,
Before you decide, I'm going to charge it this time.
oh yeah, he didn't charge crypto. So third click, he's running on the remote.
Now you can decide.
Yeah, so if I score at this agenda on my following turn, I will be down to 4 money with the pad campaign, 5 at the start of the following turn. So I'd be getting pretty low on money.
Okay.
But depending on so I do res Neural Katana. I decide to do that because if he does go through, the pop-up pays me, getting me back up to 3.
I guess we'll have to break it. So 1, 2, 3, 4.
And
Okay.
yeah, if otherwise the pad campaign will pay me out. So he does get through. He takes another tag, and he sees a card. Ooh, he scores it.
Yeah. You're up.
Okay.
And I'm not quite sure. This might be where I made a mistake. It looks like he had 3 cards in hand. 1, 2. Oh no, he has 4. So he's good.
Yeah, and then I'll advance.
So I decided just to score it out. Luckily, it was a priority wreck. Yeah, I was trying to decide if there's any reason not to res it. I couldn't think of any good reason not to. Cost Crypsis at least 3 to get through.
4, 4.
So I still have at least one agenda in HQ.
I have some 3-pointers in my deck.
So half the 3-pointers have been scored at this point. I have another one in hand. So that means there's only, I think, one more. There's only be one more in R&D. R&D is probably still his cheapest way in. It's 3 at minimum on Enigma, another 5 on Caduceus, so he could spend 4.
I'm going to get a credit. Install that. 4.
So he just decides to get some more money.
And I will do it right.
Pad campaign will pay me. I'll take the mandatory.
And, ooh, now he might get 3 cards, right? Because he just put a card down. I don't think he drew up. Right? If 1, 2, 3. He's at 3 cards.
Yep. I'll take.
And so I messed up big time there. That I could have just won. Yeah, I had 2 credits. I could have taken a credit and Scorched Earth for the win. So that was a big mistake. And that's because sometimes I do very stupid things. I wasn't as focused on the Scorched Earth at this point. I guess I was just thinking I only have 1 Scorched Earth and he's definitely at 4 cards, right?
Advanced Crisis. 2.
So yeah, that was just a big mistake.
Run here.
I do have enough
I'll pay the 3
for Snare.
and 5 to get through.
Okay. And
So he could win right now. So I believe there's another agenda in there. Just he's a hedge fund. I'm going to love that.
okay. Start turn. Pad campaign will pay. I'll take the mandatory draw.
I'm trying to see if I have 2 agendas in hand. I also have a hostile takeover, which would be nice to score. For a big boost of money. Although I don't really need money at this point. I just need enough money to score. Yeah, if I dropped an agenda right now, then I could score behind Hadrian's. Well, he does have Armitage money, so I'm trying to figure out the math of that, right? Because he could take 3 clicks of Armitage. That would put him up to 7, which is not enough for Hadrian as well, I don't think. Yeah, so I didn't want to risk it, though. I didn't want to risk him having a sure gamble or something like that for some surprise money.
And then
Or stim hack.
3rd click.
Stall.
Yep.
So I think I'm bluffing something out. I mean, I'm definitely bluffing. It might be well, it might be one of my one-pointer agendas. I have a hostile takeover and a posted bounty, so it might be one of those. So I would just be getting him to try and spend everything he has to get in there.
Should probably actually get the 4.
So he gets 4 credits off Armitage.
6.
Oh yeah, okay. So this, see, I'm showing the camera that I do have 2 of my 3-pointers in my hand. So at this point, I don't care if he gets into R&D. He's just spending all his money, giving me his. He doesn't know this, but I know where all my agendas are at this point. So he just sees a sensei, and the agendas that will actually win the game for him are in my hand. So he has to run HQ to win. And he is. Is he at 3 cards again? I hope not. I think he's at 4. Yeah, he didn't play out any cards, right? So. It's tough because you don't want them to know that you have Scorch Earth, and especially in this format. There's no sweeps week, so you can't make it seem like a sweeps week somehow. So if you ask them how many cards they have, so I really like when players. Okay, he does have 4. I like it when players make it obvious how many cards they have because it removes a big part of the game when I can't tell how many cards you have. Yeah, it makes it harder to conceal something like a Scorched Earth. Which, you know, number of cards in there are supposed to be public, so you shouldn't technically have to ask. So that R&D at this point has my other Scorched Earth. Alright, so yeah, that was some sort of bluff.
Install advance.
But he's at even less money now, because he spent all his money getting R&D, so there's just
Sitting in your hand.
stim hack would be the only way
Perfectly awesome.
that he'd be able to get into that server. And that would make me sad because hypothetically he did have stim hack. Well, he needs to draw a card, but then he could just take all the brain damage on Janus, get in and steal my 3-pointer and win the game.
Almost over.
Just delaying the game here.
So I think stim hack probably is a really good card
Look at my draw.
for draft for situations like this.
I'm gonna get mine.
Because you don't expect stim hack as much. Because, you know, this is not an Anarch.
Your turn.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, so I thought he messed up there, but he put virus counter around Cryptus and then searched it. So that was my other 3-pointer.
So here's something interesting that came up that
And now I'm going over how I knew I had where all the 3-pointers were, so I wasn't worried about the R&D runs. So I got a little bit lucky that he never. Oh yeah, so that was actually the posted bounty in that server, and instead of scoring it, I decided to just completely ignore it and score out the other 3-pointer when there was a good window. So yeah, other than my big one mistake, I could have won that game like 2 turns sooner. That went pretty well to plan. This deck, I was really happy with this deck during this draft event. It was really fun to play, and it just gave me a lot of options. I always felt like I had a few ways to go to try and get a victory. And Oversight Janus was an all-star. Maybe because you only have 30 cards, you're just more likely to draw those kind of combo pieces. But I would have oversighted Hadrian's as well. I think those were my 2 biggest pieces ice. So when I was drafting the Oversight, I was kind of thinking, I don't know if it's worth it, right? I don't know that many big ice. But it ended up being great. I think it won me a couple games. And that is the final draft game for this event. Leave me feedback. Let me know how this is going, these videos, if you have any ideas how I can improve it. I wish I could do overlays, but that would just take way too long. But maybe you have some other ideas and ideas to promote it, whatever. So I will have more games up on the channel soon. I recorded a bunch of a constructed tournament that we had last weekend, and those will be up on the channel pretty soon as well. So thanks for watching, and thanks for the feedback.
Appealing, not.
I mean,